My name is Laurel. I work for O'Reilly Media, and I am the Gov2O evangelist, which means I have the coolest job possible. We may not be able to read this now, but JFK was, in fact, a great UI designer. And this presentation will take you through this and what we're thinking about when we talk about government and technology. You may know O'Reilly Media as a book publisher, as a conference convener, but we're also thinking about how technology and government work together. And much like Web 2.0, we're kind of calling this Gov 2.0, although we didn't coin the term. Bill Eggers did. So you know it's good when Craig Newmark of Craigslist says, "I welcome my nerd overlords." And this is what he's talking about when the new administration took office in Washington, D.C., because he knew at this point that the administration grokked IT. They understood technologists, they understood geeks, and they understood that we needed to be part of the administration going forward. And this is important because IT does matter, and geeks matter. And what we can do with open data and the internet is really important. Because if you actually want to create a government that is more efficient, more transparent, and more effective, and creative, you actually have to assemble an army of developers, social media experts, designers, citizens, government employees. Because if government is a platform, which we're touting, then we need people to create apps. We need people to work to make the government better. And every time you do create an app or do something, you are making the government better. So who else is doing this? This guy, Sir Tim Berners-Lee, who created the World Wide Web. He's working with the British government to open up data sets. What's the most important thing on this page? That beta tag. The government is introducing IT language to their everyday workings. That's amazing. Who else is important? Edward Tufte. So designers out there, how else can you visualize pork barrel spending? Pigs, barrels, money, pork barrel spending. When you visualize data, you tell a story, and you tell it for people who don't understand APIs, and that's really critical. Another really important part of this equation are hackers. Carl Mallow is probably the most awesome hacker you may never have ever heard of, but he's been hacking our US government for decades, and he is trying to release as much data that the government has that's also our data to the public. Ellen Miller from the Sunlight Foundation, they're doing amazing things. She works for Big Transparency on Capitol Hill. That's awesome. And what they're doing now is combining congressional testimony with money and how much and where the donors are giving them, what donors are giving money. Because government's a system, and we need to be able to work our way through the system, to navigate it, to hack it, and for the system itself to be transparent. Because geeks like systems, because they're understandable. And we need to be able to disrupt this system as well. So as we continue to look at the system, we know that there's data. We know there's APIs and silos. We need to make all of that data available and downloadable and open to all of our citizens. This is Washington, D.C.'s data sets. This is fantastic. This is one of the best representations of a city as APIs as possible. Once you have the data, what you also do is you build an app. So in Boston, we may have cow paths, but we also have real-time data. And if we have real-time data for buses, that means we have apps. And I will never be late for work again because I know when the bus is coming. And that's amazing. So if you have the data, you have the skills to build the apps, let's join the challenge. You're competitive, you have the skills, you can do it. Because you're doing it for your city, you're doing it for your kids, and you're doing it for your country. And you may not actually get any money for this competition, but in fact, you may be able to be the real mayor for the day and drive around in a police car. So if you have a great idea, build it yourself, make some money. See Click Fix, find a pothole, tell someone about it. They're sharing your information because potholes are the gateway drug to citizen action. You can build lollicats all you want, and I encourage you to because I love them. Or you can sit down and build Ushahidi, which is an open source platform for reporting disasters during a crisis situation. They're both awesome. The point is, work on stuff that matters. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Go find your data set. If you can't find a data set, then harass your government. Work with your government. It's our government. And we need to make sure it works. Because if the government doesn't work, we don't work. And if you can't open your government, then you don't own it. And we need less clicktivism and clicking on like on Facebook. And we need to prove Malcolm Gladwell wrong in the New Yorker and actually turn this online clicktivism into real life activism. Because your country needs you, your city needs you, your neighbors need you, and you have the skills, so you must use them. If not you, then who? And if not now, then when? Because your country is asking you to do what you can for it. because you don't have to read binary to understand that simple fact. Thanks very much.